Welcome into the Banter, the podcast where we talk about whatever comes to our mind. While it comes to our mind,
that was way too quick.
No filter and no plan. That's why it's called the Banter. You know.
And just for any of you who are new to this, like Konner said, there's no plan. There's genuinely no plan.
We're also not that smart.
No. And every time we're talking about usually finance or something semi-political, it's all from a really dumb frame of mind. So everyone know that we're never
I was going to start
serious.
talking about quantum physics today.
You're free to.
Yeah.
We won't join you.
Oh.
I mean, Trevor's the only one here that like Trevor's got a sports management major.
Yeah, he's legit.
I was an arts major and Konner was a music major. So
And I went to school for 4
If
years.
you guys
for
want
music.
to know how far away the three-point
I decided
line
that's
is,
that's how I'm going to
forgot.
tell people.
That's
like
the-
instead of saying I graduated with this degree, I said I went to school for 4 years for this.
there you go.
Instead of saying I'm a dropout, because I did go to school for 4
did go to
years,
school
I
for
just
4
didn't
years.
graduate.
That's fine. Yeah, that works. I was just letting the people know, like, I studied art. Konner studied music, another form of art.
Well, let's talk
Trevor
art.
had a lot of business and
No, sports is art.
smart classes. You know, Trevor's the smart one here. You know, and if you're smart, you'll be using our sponsor of today's episode, Manscaped. Summer's coming. Are you ready to unveil that beach body of yours? Manscaped's here to ensure your body's ready for the wild with their game-changing full-body grooming and hygiene products. Don't be the guy at the beach with the Austin Powers chest hair. The least you can do is just make sure you're groomed, you're ready, and you're out there shining, if you will.
Oh, I will.
It's time to get ready for the hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code BANTER20. One word, BANTER20. Manscaped's dedicated to helping you increase your confidence and level up your full body grooming with the Performance Package 4.0. We've told you about this all the time. Absolutely incredible. The kit comes with the Lawnmower 4.0. Whether you're trimming your chest or anywhere else in your body, it's the best trimmer on the market. It features a ceramic blade designed to cut hair on loose skin to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology. We can go on and on about that, but also inside the Performance Package, you can find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, because we know how painful chafing can be, especially when you're wearing a bathing suit all day.
Facts.
Some of my worst memories at the beach started with the chafe.
Just raw.
Yeah, it was brutal. If I would have had these products, probably wouldn't have happened. Also, no one likes nose hair, so their package comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0, and you get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, the $39 value add, by the way.
It's a great bag, by the way.
And the
I use it every day.
high-performance, chafing-reducing Manscaped boxers that I'm actually wearing right now. I even wore them.
Same. I wear them every single day.
Oh
my gosh, Hunter.
I don't regret that.
Yeah, that's
I also wore them for my
family
run this
show.
morning. Not the ones I'm wearing right now. I changed. I have
And just
multiple,
let everyone know,
I
that's
have
not
multiple pairs.
And that's not his actual underwear. He's
Yeah.
wearing 2 pairs of underwear.
no, those are my actual underwear.
No,
just
but you're wearing
over
2
underwear.
layers
If
of them.
Trevor would have leaned over, he would have got quite a different view than he
Oh
would have
my,
wanted.
Hunter, move on.
Get the 20% off and free shipping with the code BANTER20 at manscaped.com. It's 20% off and free shipping with the code BANTER20 at manscaped.com.
Dang, we get the banter moved to a whole new podcast channel, and things get crazy.
Well, I was
up in
trying to
here.
prove I was wearing.
There was
You did
once.
prove
There
it.
was one. Was it a banter or was it a mailbag, Trevor, where I gifted you my pants?
I don't know.
that was a mailbag.
I think it was a mailbag episode, which those of you that don't know, we have a Patreon where we do a mailbag episode where we answer all of your deepest, darkest questions. And it was Trevor's birthday, and I asked him what he wanted for his birthday. He said, "I want your pants," and I said, "You have these same pants," and he said, "I want those pants."
And then Konner took them off.
And for about 10 more minutes of the podcast, you saw this. This was the camera angle, so it wasn't a big deal.
I feel like my birthday low key might have been on a Wednesday. Maybe it was the banter.
It could have been the banter.
Maybe it was the banter. You guys let us know.
I don't know. You know, I was thinking the other day about, because I was talking to someone about like content creation and strategies for YouTube and so on and so forth.
Do you think it was one of us?
No, I was on a phone call. And they said something about, like, because they were thinking about getting into making YouTube videos. And they're like, so like when I'm creating content like for YouTube videos, should I aim for like 5-6 minutes? Like, what should I do? And I was like, no, like you'll be creating for a younger audience, kind of like our age and younger, maybe a little older for their demographic. But I'm like, we view YouTube, like most of us aren't really paying for cable. Some of us are. Most of us, like when we view YouTube, that is a lot of times like our TV. Like we sit down at breakfast or lunch or whatever, and we're looking for a video that we can turn on and watch for the duration.
Yes.
I was like, so if it's 5 minutes, you're going to actually in my experience, lose people.
YouTube.
Because like if I go to YouTube and I see 5 minutes, I'm like deuces. So then I started thinking of
It's because short form content exists now.
That's what I told you.
Because
it lands too
YouTube
much in the
used
middle.
to be more of a sweet spot in shorter videos, maybe that 5 to 10 range, because we didn't have short form content. So like that was a place that we like to consume shorter content. But nowadays, like you're right, like we go to YouTube to watch it like a television show.
That's why I said like if
You go to TikTok if you want to just be entertained really quickly.
I was like, if our generation wants a quick hit, like they want quick
a quick
content,
hit.
they're going to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or even if they go to YouTube, they're going to the shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wonder when
But-
Mr. Beast is going to start only doing shorts, because his videos are almost shorts length at this point. They're getting 6 minutes and getting shorter.
So this is what I was thinking, though,
crazy.
right? Because like I was talking to him about like our generation and like the generation right behind us. Mr. Beast, I feel like, is creating that generation watches, but even for the generation behind that, is more so maybe not the generation behind, but like I'm talking 15 to like 30, maybe 15 is too young at this point. 18 to like 30, I feel like kind of watches YouTube the way we're just talking about it. But I feel like younger than that, they don't have quite the attention span.
No.
So they're looking for the Mr. Beast type content. But what I was thinking is it all started because like that's how we just view content at this point. And then I started thinking back because we've talked about like Top Gear on this before.
Yeah.
And we talked about like different TV shows that we loved growing up. Most of them weren't formatted like the TV shows that like our parents would have loved. Like if I think of like my dad loved Andy Griffith. And that is like one story throughout the whole thing. You sit down, the story starts, and you watch the show, and it's just one storyline for 30 minutes. I started thinking through like my favorite shows growing up, pretty much all of them were like topic to topic. Like they were YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like Top Gear,
okay.
Mythbusters,
I'm exactly the opposite.
Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Oh.
iCarly.
Wait, what's the difference
So like
between...
Ned's Declassified was a vlog.
But you're thinking, but still,
You know what I'm saying?
episode,
Right, but
still
episode to episode was a new
had
story.
Sure, yeah. But it's they were like breaking the fourth wall, talking to you a lot.
Oh, I understand.
Like
Yeah.
they
Okay,
like
yeah,
Ned's
yeah.
Declassified could
But
live on YouTube.
But iCarly...
iCarly was about making a web show.
Right.
So
but I'm
a
just saying,
big
like, all
portion
the
of the
shows,
episode was
all the
them-
shows that I consumed, like, growing up, most of them. Like, I did watch, like, Mythbusters, and I watched a lot of Food Network, even. But, like, when it came to,
thing.
like, Disney Channel and Cartoon Network, most of the shows I watched growing up, the majority were episode is a completely new storyline.
Well, that's
most
but I'm
stuff I
saying-
consumed.
So the point got mistaken a little bit there. So the Andy Griffith, you're like watching a show. Like they're never bringing you along with them, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Ned's Declassified.
You're watching
the
a different
whole
world.
thing was one storyline, but it was shot a lot more like a vlog. Like you were
Okay.
a part of their friend group. iCarly, there was those middle parts where they're like
They're talking to you.
they're showing you
I'm just feeling the disconnect because, like, I didn't watch really either of those shows very much.
what's the show you watch?
Like, a good example would be, like, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Perfect. Yeah. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, I feel like was a lot like a YouTube video. Like high energy, boom, boom. They're on to the next thing nonstop.
But I don't understand maybe I'm not understanding the Andy
generation
Griffith show, but
You're
like,
basically saying that this
The
generation has been
before us was
prepped.
like SpongeBob and like trying to think of other like younger, like even go way back for us, Blue's Clues and Dora were very much like
it's a little more like
shows, right?
interactive.
You're talking about slow pace.
It was a lot more like interactive, talking to you, the audience,
okay.
was what the shows felt like. When I was thinking through like every show I ever liked growing up.
I'm just saying I watched a lot that weren't like that. The majority, probably.
But you just named Sweet Life. And like they weren't necessarily
don't-
talking to you, but they were a very like, it was a much different show. Even Drake and Josh. Did you watch Drake and Josh?
a little bit.
I mean, the whole intro of that is a vlog. They sit down, the intro of Drake and
Yeah.
Josh, they sit down and they talk to you of like, my brother Josh.
It's
Blah,
true.
blah.
It's
You know what I
true.
mean? That
That's not the
didn't
feel of the
exist.
show,
but that
though.
didn't like that doesn't exist with Friends.
True. It's a
And
sitcom.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean the sitcom
Like,
era was different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like our generation didn't grow up in that like sitcom era.
But I would argue the Sweet Life on Deck is it's a sitcom,
But then also,
But
like,
it's a much different
all of our
sitcom.
favorite shows, The Office, though.
which is also. A
But there's
sitcom.
talking heads, though.
Exactly.
But
The
there's talking
Office
heads
is-
in The Office.
But The Office is very much like, that's what I'm saying, is like I feel like a lot of the content was building you for YouTube.
Yeah, I think that. So I think that it's just been a natural development of people losing attention span and like needing quick like get to
They
the
need
point
to be
really
engaged
fast.
a lot more.
I think a big part of like the engagement and YouTube's draw is that you felt like you were part of a community in the comment section. Like that's a big thing. Like you were like watching with other people, because I think like that was, and you could YouTube, there was just so many options as well. Like
I think there's also less commitment.
because I remember, let me give you an example of why like YouTube probably resonates. Like when I was younger, we had Dish TV growing up for a decent bit of my childhood, and when you were wanting to watch the Disney Channel, for example, and a new episode of whatever was coming on, you would hit like info to see what the episode was and have I seen this yet? Have I seen this Phineas and Ferb yet? But you had no choice in the matter. We didn't have on demand at this point. So YouTube was probably the first outlet of like television for me where I had the choice, right? I could go find what I wanted and I could watch episodes back. Like that was like even at a time where Netflix was like renting DVDs. YouTube was ahead of that curve, and like I can find the series I like and just watch it through. And that was what I did. So I think that was a huge alert too.
It's just YouTube's like, because when I first started watching YouTube, it was very much a like information platform for me. Like I didn't immediately start watching YouTube as an entertainment platform. I was like, I wanted to learn. Trying to think like the first like magic. The first thing.
I think I'm with you. It was a lot of like I was trying to learn how.
Like
to
I
do
wanted to
stuff.
learn how to build a fingerboard. I wanted to learn new fingerboard tricks.
Well,
I wanted
disc
to
golf
learn.
was a big informational outlet for me.
Yeah,
pretty
I
early
wanted to
in YouTube.
learn magic.
My dad and
So-
I used YouTube for working on cars.
Yeah, so I was constantly going to YouTube, not for entertainment at that point. I was just going like, I want to. YouTube's a resource like Google, but I don't want to have to read a blog to learn how to do this sleight of hand move.
I just hated reading.
I want to watch Miss Mag 822 walk me through how to freaking do a magic
Dude,
trick.
But then you discovered Julian's-
that channel.
Yeah.
But then
Oh
you
my
discovered
gosh.
Julian Smith. And
Yeah,
it's all
I think
downhill
I
from there.
started
No, but, like,
more
it
into
just like
entertainment.
slowly transitioned. Like Casey Neistat I think was a big transitioner for me, and Good Mythical Morning.
Yeah.
Good Mythical Morning was a big one too.
I mean, when would you say you started on YouTube? Because like when I started on YouTube, like Casey Neistat wasn't even a thing. Like I started watching YouTube.
You definitely started watching YouTube younger than I did.
I got
Trevor.
my first iPod Touch, which was like the device that I started consuming YouTube on heavily when I was in 5th grade. So I was probably 11 years old.
I didn't get an iPhone.
I was making YouTube
an iPhone
content
was
when I
the
was
first
11,
web browsing thing
That's
that
a good
I
point.
had.
Actually, the funny thing is, I like Konner. I think I was making YouTube videos before I actually watched YouTube. I just knew it was a place you could put videos. My buddy and I did Nerf gun reviews.
I
on
did
YouTube.
I started watching YouTube whenever I was in probably high school, honestly.
So-
because
I watched
I
it.
because I didn't have an internet browsing device until I was in high school.
Yeah.
I had an iPhone, and that was whenever I started watching YouTube. But yeah, I did the same thing. I was posting YouTube videos probably around the same
Right.
time.
My first YouTube video came out when I was 11.
Yeah.
Mine definitely didn't.
But
I was definitely much older.
At
than
that point, all the magic I learned, which is what I was posting at the time, was from YouTube. Like that's all I watched on YouTube was I would go to YouTube to watch people perform magic and then watch people explain how they did that.
Yeah.
But that was it for YouTube. It wasn't for years and years before it became like a big like transition to my main form of entertainment. Because at that point, when I was 11 or 12, we had DVR.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know. I think what got me down the rabbit trail of like entertainment on YouTube was just people telling me about certain YouTube videos, and like I would just kind of like, oh, they did it, and there's this video, it's funny. Here's this video that they like. Here's this other person they did a video with. Let me see what their channel is about. Like I think that's kind of how the trail started for me. And I mean, I was like, I don't really consume a lot of YouTube at all anymore. But in my day, like from like that age onward through high school, I consumed YouTube like crazy. And I didn't consume any other television or anything, but like when I was in high school, and I was homeschooled in high school, so I had quite a bit of time. Like I would get done school maybe around 12 to 1 o'clock range and have until like baseball practice in the afternoon. So like I had a lot of time. And I had a subscriptions, like I would go to the subscriptions tab. It wasn't like the homepage algorithm was strong back then. It wasn't a thing. And I watched every video. I subscribed to probably over 100 people. And like it was, I have these many videos. Like I remember I would go away to like a winter camp or something and not have my iPod or phone or whatever. And I would get back and be like, oh my gosh, I have like 20 to 30 videos to catch up on. It like stressed me out. Like, because I watched them all, every single one. That was how I consumed YouTube, and it was serious business.
For me, it was always like YouTube was a form of developing my hobbies.
Yeah.
And so every hobby that I had,
that's what it's
I
best for,
consumed
honestly.
YouTube. Like, because there's the entertainment I watched was, I think Good Mythical Morning was like really the only, Good Mythical Morning and Julian Smith was really the only like entertainment I watched. But everything on there was like, whenever I first got into YouTube was in high school, and I was just basically only watching music stuff.
Yeah.
I was just watching some of my favorite bands, just 2-hour long concerts. And I would sit in front of my TV and I would just watch them. That's what I did
That's
for
what
fun.
it's best for now, because like
And
now
I watch
that's
music covers.
That's what
all
I use
did.
it for now, because like right now, for example, I'm into chess a lot, and so I watch YouTube if I want to watch chess right now. But I think hobby like development, as long as it's a good hobby, is what it's best. Like I would get into wiffle ball and be looking up how to throw different wiffle ball pitches, or like disc golf. Like that's how I learned how to play disc golf.
Same. The day that I played disc golf for real, like I'd played it in middle school and stuff, just messing around. But whenever I played it, like it was my own initiative to go play it. That day was whenever I watched my first disc golf YouTube video, and I watched it every day from then until.
I need to like time
now,
machine my YouTube history, although I'd probably also be horrified.
But yeah, it was. I was just like. So
back
then I got
can
into
you
disc
go on
golf, and my
something like
YouTube was crazy, just disc golf stuff, and then cars. I used the YouTube got me more into cars, which it's entertainment videos within each of those hobbies, but it makes me excited about those hobbies. Like YouTube has always made me more excited about my hobbies.
We should all scroll through our YouTube subscriptions and find like top 3 channels that are like very nostalgic to us, like that, like, and like that we would actually have to explain to people.
I've changed my YouTube account too much, I think. Like I don't use.
I have too many subscriptions, I think.
I mean,
I'll look at my subscriptions
I have countless
on here,
subscriptions,
but
just try to find one or two that like they're like, oh wow, that reminds me of the old days. Because man, a lot of mine.
Well, I know like Miss Mag 822, Braille skateboarding.
Yeah, Braille. I was big
Who was
into
who was the fingerboard dude?
I want to try and find
Because like when I got into
super
Rubik's
niche.
Cube, I'd watch like Felix Zimdeg's, and like that was and Crazy Bad Cuber.
Like some of these things, I don't even know what they are.
This one of them was, what's funny was Peter McKinnon.
Like why was I subscribed to
He was
TMZ?
doing magic at the beginning, him and Chris Ramsey. And I stopped watching both of them because Chris Ramsey went into like puzzle solving and Peter McKinnon went into like filmmaking. And I was like, frick these guys. Like I wanted to watch them do like break down magic tricks. And then I stopped watching them, and then both of them blew up. And people would be like, dude, you see whatever? I'm like, what? Like, how do you know him? And they're like, oh, he's huge doing filmmaking or puzzle style. I'm like, the frick? Like, no, I was watching him when he was just doing magic. And they're like, he did magic? I'm like, what? How? This person has changed his whole identity.
And so
This
far,
is so funny.
I've gone through my hobbies of like Minecraft to table tennis to computer building. Like I feel like I'm going through my entire childhood of hobbies right
I just
now.
found something that I'm ashamed that I'm subscribed to. I'm unsubscribing right now.
I've got so many of them.
I don't have my Gmail's too new.
Like I have no
When I
idea.
like was first getting into YouTube, like my magic channel was on my mom's email because I was 11. I didn't have an email. So like all my magic videos would been like all my magic subscriptions.
This is what I
wonder
found
if
on
I can
mine.
just
I just
go-
scrolled all the way down because you can scroll all the way down and it shows you your oldest ones. And
Wait, there's a way to sort by oldest?
it's naturally sorted by
Alphabetical.
No,
That's how mine is.
Oh, mine was actually sorted by activity.
Mine's my most relevant.
Mine's sorted
You
by...
can change it to. There's a third option. I can't remember what it's called.
New activity.
New activity.
Well, that's
Oh,
like
here we
people
go.
uploading.
I don't think it is. I think it's when you subscribe. Because
definitely is
whenever I
new.
scrolled all the way down, these are definitely the first channels I
Definitely
subscribed to.
new activity.
Really?
Because
No.
new
No.
activities.
No, because
Foundation
my
podcast is the
subscriptions,
top.
my subscriptions are all like Konner said. Like Gotham Chess is my newest one, and it's like all things I've recently subscribed to.
So scroll all the way down to the bottom.
You just subscribe to Foundation Podcast and our main YouTube channel.
That's also a good point.
Like no, I didn't just subscribe to our main YouTube channel.
But like
Jonas.
I could probably find one way
This
down here.
helps,
Like
though.
Marquez Brownlee is way down this list, and he probably just
Well, most
uploaded.
relevant, I feel like, is what you want, because that's like what you're consuming all the way back to what you're not consuming anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this most relevant took me to stuff that I haven't watched in forever. But again, this Gmail is basically once I got into disc
it
golf.
can't be completely accurate because Corridor's at the bottom of the list, and they just uploaded.
Go to most relevant.
Like a couple.
I think this is for the most part showing. I don't think it's exactly accurate, but I think it's for the most part showing when you subscribe, like how long ago you subscribed. Because that
Definitely is not. Because Foundation Disc Golf is one of my oldest
saying-
subscribers.
I'm just saying
That's the third on my list.
I think it's the
factoring into
closest to
some
doing
amount
that.
because, like I said, I had some at the bottom
Well,
of my list.
most
that just
relevant
uploaded.
should be what's doing that because that's going to be what is most relevant to you down to what's not, which would be
so
what
many
you're not
disc,
watching
so
anymore.
many disc golf
I forgot.
channels.
I'm subscribed to the Disc Golf Kid.
Oh, Chris Smoove. Okay, Chris Smoove played 2K.
Yes. Oh, frick.
So
I didn't really watch him that much, but
he's actually still big, and now what he does for like most of his views is he does game recaps, like NBA game recaps, and gets like a lot of views still. Really gets a lot of views still. But his niche was 2K gaming and also like some other Let's Plays. And Chris Smoove is like an OG YouTuber. He was fantastic. That's definitely a great one for me. Oh my gosh, dude! All the FIFA YouTubers I was really into as well. Like all like the Sidemen guys.
I'm subscribed to like some of my early ones I remember.
That's a great one.
Was
Rocket Jump.
LR Bags, which LR Bags is a company that makes acoustic guitar pickups, but they do like acoustic sessions. And so I used to always watch their acoustic sessions, and I love them so much. And then Cracker Farm was another like indie acoustic session channel that just would post like the Avett Brothers and Mumford and Sons doing like acoustic sessions. I used to watch all the time. And then Chris Fix, which I think he's still pretty big, but he just fixes cars and lawnmowers and stuff.
This
Spin TV.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Spin TV, yeah. Rocket Jump. So this channel.
Oh, yeah.
This
Freddie
channel was
Wong.
Freddie W. Yeah, Freddie Wong did it. And
yeah.
they did a bunch of VFX stuff.
They were doing like full series.
they've got insane views on like their stuff, and I would go back and watch all these right now.
What was that like?
Video
High
Game
school, video game high school.
Yeah.
I vividly remember that.
Yeah,
I was like waiting every week for them to. It was TV.
Yeah,
literally that was
actually
fully produced.
That
TV.
was a TV show. Yeah, that was one of the first. That was when YouTube first started experimenting with the idea. And you guys
That was
remember
like YouTube Red or whatever.
You guys, I remember YouTube Red. They started doing those shows, like those like YouTube
Oh,
Red shows.
I remember watching
before Netflix was doing exclusives.
What was the Rhett and Link show that was?
I
on
never
YouTube
watched
Red?
it. I never subscribed.
I watched it because
But they pushed it.
I did 2 different
PewDiePie
free
had a
trials so
couple
I could
shows as
watch
well.
all of it, and it was so weird.
Yeah, that was. But like, there was like a time. There was that time. Like, I mean, this is probably 10 years ago now, where YouTubers decided like,
That's crazy.
what if we like they got it big enough? They were like, what if we just made TV shows on
Yeah.
YouTube? Like that was a thing.
Yeah, and Rhett and Link did it.
All right, so I did most nostalgic YouTube channels.
Okay.
There's a top 25 list.
See, like how many? Let's see
Let's see how many we know. I scrolled through and I've heard of some of them. I don't think I watched pretty much any on this list. But we'll
Okay.
see. Number
I'm about to,
25
like,
is
expose myself.
I was into such weird niche stuff.
Near Far Productions.
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Known as Skippy Shots, this YouTuber created a lot of successful YouTube videos starting in the late 2000s, including his worst kids show ever.
Oh,
Number 24 is Jake Paul. So
heard of
that's,
him.
that's
I
stupid.
never.
I was
Yeah,
like
I never watched any
nostalgic.
Jake Paul stuff.
J Station.
Nope.
I've heard of him, but I don't remember what. I remember what he did.
Jay Station. Jay Station.
Active until early 2021. Probably mid to late Gen Z would be considered him nostalgic, apparently. CS188.
Nope.
Doesn't even have a picture. Tony Famous.
Nope.
Kevin LaShawn.
Nope.
Willcraft.
No. These are all. Nobody's heard of these.
Millions of views over the years.
Nobody.
I
Out
don't
of the 3 of us, nobody.
Nobody's heard of these.
Dead Meat.
Nope.
Dave Days.
Nope.
Nope.
Dang, man. Angry Video Game Nerd.
Nope.
Maybe.
Does his
It
face look familiar?
Does he mean disc golf nerd?
rings a bell.
No. Disc Golf Nerd, man. He
Still
still
going
makes content and posts on Instagram, but most of his posts on Instagram are him pissed off at the algorithm for not getting more views.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, he is.
Dang.
Poor guy. I feel bad for him when I
Dang,
look at
I need
it.
to
He also blocked Foundation's account.
Wow.
So, like, I don't feel
what?
bad. I don't know.
We were
What?
all such
I
big
loved
disc golf
him.
nerd fans.
Yeah, I tried to find him on Foundation's account. He didn't exist. And then I went on my account. I was like, let's just see, because like people block us.
I heard
I went on my
friends.
account and searched him. I'm like, why'd you block me, man?
I was a huge
I was gonna
disc golf
invite him
nerd.
to. I think I was gonna reach out for Creators Cup, and then I didn't
Yeah.
because he blocked
I
Foundation.
always liked him.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I
he
would
doesn't like
him
you.
too.
Fabio Mariano,
This list is so confusing. Like, when were these people on YouTube?
Tom Ska.
No,
I know that guy.
who are these people?
He's a
I watched so many mainstream YouTubers back in the day.
Tom Ska was mainstream. He was. Let's see how big he was. I've
I'm
definitely
not
heard that
disagreeing
name.
that he was. I'm just saying, like, I thought that
This might be older than you.
Maybe.
He has 7.2 million.
There isn't a lot of YouTube that is older than me because
7.2 million.
when I started consuming YouTube, the most viewed video was Charlie bit my
Yeah,
finger.
you remember this? This guy.
Okay, yeah, I've seen some of those.
Yeah, that was him.
Okay,
The like animation stuff. I was gonna say I knew that name. Okay. Yeah. Jawed.
Nope.
Video creator of the first video on YouTube.
Okay.
All right.
Sig.
Amber Caitlin Beal.
Who the
I
heck
don't
are
know.
these people? What is
I'm
this
not having
list?
fun anymore.
This channel
Yeah.
was a pioneer of emo culture.
This list better start getting more
Cool.
recognized.
Keyboard Cat.
Okay, I know about Keyboard Cat, but like that, these are like viral videos.
Nostalgia Critic.
No. Cinema Sins is fun.
Fred.
Okay, we know about Fred.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh
now
my
we're-
gosh, remember when
now
they
we're
made a
getting
show?
somewhere.
Oh, Annoying Orange.
Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, yes.
All right,
this
I
is
forgot
good
about
now.
that. I
I
forgot about
Annoying
those.
Orange.
Yeah. Okay, now we're
That
getting
was
somewhere.
brutal. Those videos. Ethos Lab.
Yes.
Nothing.
Hey, great list.
That means nothing to me.
Okay, let me tell you. This is
What-
actually
what is
perfect.
Ethos Lab?
This is stay
Forest
there for
Fire
stay there
101.
for 1 second.
No,
because-
none of us knew it.
because I want to.
That was pointless. This is a pointless
bring up
list.
a point. I want to bring up a point that I was going to make before, and it's actually about Ethos Lab. So Ethos Lab is a Minecraft YouTuber, and you know how a lot of times you go and you look at a YouTube channel that you used to watch and it's dead, and it makes you really sad. Mm-hmm. Well, Ethos Lab has always just stuck to like pretty much the same kind of content. He's never even done a face reveal. Like he's been
yeah.
in this game for years.
Dead
and
mouse.
he was a
Dead
channel
Mouse
that
5.
kind of lost traction and then now has gotten big again and now is getting like people came back to him. And then that makes me so happy. But yeah, he's like he kills it on YouTube nowadays. Gets like hundreds of thousands of views.
Forest Fire 101.
Nope.
See, I knew y'all were gonna say that. Give me a second.
Free ad read?
No.
Man,
I'm gonna just. Ah, dang! There's another
have
ad.
you seen?
Is it What Does the Fox Say?
No. Just
you know
give it a
about
second.
this?
Of course, you're gonna this.
Oh.
The duck story.
Do you not know this?
No, remember we had this moment like a few weeks ago where you and I were singing "Got Any Grapes" and Trevor's like, I don't know what this is.
You've never seen this,
No.
and you call yourself you say you watched a lot of YouTube and you,
You
haven't
got
seen
any
that.
grapes?
I can't trust a word Trevor says about YouTube anymore. That has 590 million views.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance it was shown to me at some point.
PewDiePie.
Yeah,
I've actually never seen a PewDiePie video.
I was about to say the same thing. I've never watched a PewDiePie
I've
video.
heard of
His
him,
channel has been
obviously,
like 10
but
different things in the last 10 years, but it's a good time. He's a funny guy.
He's
Popular-
doing something with somebody now.
popular
I don't know.
MMOs.
Okay, yeah, I know about them.
I'll say you better, Trevor, because apparently he's one of the goats when it comes to Minecraft YouTubers.
I never watched that guy's channel, but I know of his channel.
Well, as a Minecraft fan, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, he's kind of a goat.
Sky does Minecraft. Why are all these Minecraft
okay,
crickers?
this list, like I know that one too, but this list sucks. This list does suck.
Smosh is number one.
Let me
Smosh it up.
I
let
never
me
really watched
let me
Smosh.
let me say something
I
to you
watched
guys. You
Smosh.
ready for this? Let me initiate conversation here. There's this thing that I've been thinking about lately. All right, this is just kind of like one of Konner's ideas. All right, and I've been thinking because I realized this the other day because I was eating lunch, and whenever I eat lunch, I like to watch YouTube videos. It's a very nice, relaxing time of my life, and I just could not find a YouTube video to satisfy me. Every single one I clicked on, I would get 2 seconds into it and be like, I'm bored, and would switch it. And I couldn't eat my lunch because I was clicking too much. I just wanted to have something on that was perfect for me to eat lunch to eat during.
This is the problem with
That's the
society.
So
Konner
then
22.
these thoughts started going into my brain, just some ideas where I was thinking, that's not good. That's not healthy that I'm like that. Because I
have
have
so many options.
and it's because I've allowed the existence of short form media, which is not necessarily a bad thing, to make it to where I have no attention span.
Same.
And because I used to be the person that would sit down and watch 2-hour concerts on YouTube and would just watch the entire thing and enjoy every single guitar change and tuning segment. Like I would enjoy all of it. And then get to where like watching all these different things on YouTube and watch the whole video through. I always hated people who skip through. And now every time I pull up a video, I never watch the whole thing. I skip through to get to the parts that entertain me.
Dang, man.
Dang.
And
Sounds
I
like a
realized
personal
that
problem with me.
I've let the short form media change my attention span to where I can't just sit
goldfish.
down and enjoy anything anymore. Yeah.
You're
And
right.
so it's brought me to this idea. it's not an idea. This isn't groundbreaking at all. It's just something that I've realized in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
We have like many different forms of disciplines that we give ourselves, but like what if what if I practice those disciplines beyond things that seem really meaningful and seem really important, but also like put those disciplines in the small parts of my life. So, for example, I'm very good at whenever I'm having a conversation with somebody, my eyes completely glossing over. And so like I try really hard to, whenever I have a conversation with a person, to be active, to respond, because I know that it's really easy for me to zone out. So I try to be active. I try to have my phone usually facing down on the table instead of facing up, because I know it'll distract me. But like, what if I trained myself to be better at those disciplines by also incorporating those disciplines in the parts of my life that don't seem like they matter? So what I did in that moment, I had this whole conversation with myself in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
And so while I was eating lunch, I was like, all right, Konner, click on a video.
You just watch it.
Just watch it. And I clicked on the video, and the video sucked.
But you just watched it.
I just watched it. I said, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing in life is going to be perfect that you find on earth. Mm-hmm. So stop looking for it. Just click on the video and enjoy it, and just sit back and relax. And
so you're trying to retrain your attention span?
Yes. But that goes to like...
But your attention was being lost because you didn't find the videos entertaining. Like, don't you think if you found the video entertaining, you would have kept watching it?
No, the reason why I find things entertaining and don't find things entertaining is because my mind just cannot accept, like it has to be like bursts of exact entertainment that I want. I'm not okay with being patient and waiting for good entertainment. You know,
what if you just
we don't have to though?
But I don't think that's good. I think what happens.
But it's entertainment. Like,
no,
that's
you're
what it's
right.
for.
But you're right. But all those things in your life, you're training yourself for situations where it does matter. Meaning your friendships, your relationships. Are you only getting out of those friends what they bring to you, the entertainment that they bring to you?
What else is a friend for?
What do you think you're here for?
Or are you being patient with your friends, even the ones that aren't perfectly entertaining, and actually pouring into instead of just being poured into?
I swear through my friends like a TikTok, man.
And I know that seems like a big thing, but like that idea of scrolling through past TikToks can very much end up bleeding into your life of your relationships.
You better be careful. You're going to get abducted if you keep talking about short form media like that.
No, and I'm not downing anyone who likes short form media. I watch a lot of YouTube shorts and I enjoy them a lot. And so my goal is not saying that I'm just looking at myself in my own mind and the way my own mind is affected by those things.
I hear you.
But I had a friend tell me the other day such a wise thing that I heard, and I was like, "This is a really good point." He said, "I think that we say yes too much in our culture."
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't like. Whenever he first said it, I was thinking that he was saying, "Oh, like we really should take more time for ourselves and have more me time instead of just saying yes to every single thing." That's not what I'm talking about. I hate that idea of I need me time. I don't think you need me time. I think you need solitude. But anyway, and I don't think they're the same thing. But anyway, that's not an unhealthy thing that when me time. I'm just tired.
Go back to that
I'm just tired of people talking about it.
What's
I don't
the
think it's
difference
bad.
between me time and solitude?
Me time is about you. Solitude isn't.
So you're saying what you're using the me time for?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with saying I can't go out tonight. I just need to spend time alone. I think that's healthy. I think it's very healthy. I'm just tired to hear people talk about it because I think people abuse it. That's all I'm saying. I think a lot of people abuse it just to be selfish, but there is a very healthy aspect to it. But anyway, so that's where that has nothing to do with this conversation. That's where I heard him going with this conversation, not where he went. He said, I think we say yes to too much in life to where we're not good at saying no to things that we don't need and no to things that aren't good for us. And in the sense of like getting to more serious things, saying no to things that are actually abusive and saying no to things that are really unhealthy for you. We're just so used to saying yes and so used to indulging in everything that we indulge in things that are going to ultimately hurt us. We can all agree that happens. So he said, what I've started doing is whenever we go through the drive-thru and my wife wants a cup of coffee and she says, do you want anything? I've started training myself to be okay with saying no to things. And even though I want a cup of coffee, I say no. And he says that he's just practicing that in parts of his life where it doesn't matter. And I just like, that's basically
that makes a lot of sense to me.
That's basically where our conversation ended. But it just like
calls an argument, but I understand.
Yeah,
I understand the agreement.
The purpose is obviously not. It's saying no to things that aren't bad, but just to train yourself to be okay with not indulging in every situation.
Well, that's what.
And I think that's really
That makes a
interesting
lot of
and
sense.
a lot of wisdom.
Well, that's
in that.
what I had a
lot of
mentor
sense.
in high school, and he would
me.
like people would say stuff like, because if you look at it's similar to what you were just saying, like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, music, it's not bad, but sometimes it can replace things in your life that are good.
Yeah.
Like it can replace, for us, it can replace time in the Word. It can replace devotions, time of prayer. It can replace time with your wife. It can replace time with your kid. It can replace one-on-one conversation with your friends. So he was saying one of the things he said, because it was a lot less of a problem back then than it would be in today's generation, but his wisdom rang true. He was basically saying, like, if you're using something that's good to replace something that's great, a good thing can be bad.
Yeah, that's a good.
And so,
way of
like,
looking at it.
Instagram, YouTube, like, there's a lot of good, but if that good is replacing something that's great and something you need, then it can be bad. So he's like, just because something's good and something like there's nothing wrong with it, doesn't mean that it's good for you. But for me personally, what I've had to do is find the balance in, like, what I was realizing was I had something itching my brain pretty much sun up to sundown. Between I would get up, how my life was going is I would get up, I'd read, I would immediately, like, Luca would wake up, I'd help Liz get him up, I'd come straight to work. Then I'd come home, put my headphones on, listen to music, go for a run, come back from my run, be busy with, helping Liz, whatever. And then we'd put Luca down and we'd end up going to sleep at 8, or if we didn't go to sleep, we watched TV. There was no point where something wasn't entering my brain.
There was no point where you weren't being influenced.
Exactly. Well, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Well, even reading, it's a great thing.
But it's still
But
content.
it's still stuff going in.
It's still consumption.
There was no time for me just to, like, sit and think. So that's what, for me, running has done in the morning, because I don't run with headphones anymore.
Yeah.
So I just, like, this morning, my mind just, by mile 2 is just gone. I'm wondering. I'm not on the road anymore.
Yeah.
Like, my brain is just thinking through whatever, and just thinking through life, thinking through, like, this morning I was like, man, I should really have lunch with my dad more often. Like, at this point in my life, my dad used to be a person that was like, I talked to week in, week out about everything going on in my life when I was in high school and early college, because I lived at home. And I'd get home and my dad would immediately be like,
Bro,
hey, how was your day today? And whatever. And I was like, my dad poured so much wisdom into me. And, like, now I'm at a point in my life where, like, my dad still has wisdom. My dad built a business. So, like, even, like, my dad lived a life that I'm living. Literally, like, he had kids while he was growing a business. And, like, he has a lot of wisdom that I could use right now. But I'm just like, it's not that I never talked to him.
I heard a clip once. This is, like, the most, like, crazy thing ever. And this guy was asking a guy, he's like, how old are your parents? And he was like, I think, they're like 70. He's like, okay, so they might, let's say they live, 10 more years. They were like maybe in their mid 70s or something. So let's say they live 10 more years. How many times a year do you see your parents? Like, probably like twice. He's like, so you're going to see your parents 20 more times in your life. And, like, he broke it down to a number like that. Like, how many people in your life right now? Like, cause, like, I live away from a lot of my family. Luckily my parents moved here, so I at least see them, like, all the time now. But, like, if some of my grandparents, if they live 10 more years, I might see them 20 more times ever in my life.
Yeah.
That is, like, punch you in the face right there.
Well, that's what it started with.
Call somebody.
It started with my granddad originally, but, like, on my run, I, like, my mind wandered and I started thinking about my granddad, because my granddad was an incredible man. He's still alive. The way I worded that
was like that.
But, like, no, like, he's an incredible man, but, like, I only know about my granddad through my dad. Like, just growing up, my grandparents weren't super involved in my life. Not a huge deal. But, like, I just heard a lot of stories of my granddad and my grandparents through my mom and dad. But so I was like, man, it'd probably mean the world to my granddad if I sat down and had lunch with him. And then, like, as I had that thought, I was like, why the frick don't I have lunch with my dad? Like, why don't I ever talk to my dad and just, like, call him? Because, like, I call him if I'm like, hey, dad, because my dad literally lives 100 feet from me. Like, literally, our backyards connect. They touch. So I talk to my dad multiple times a week, but it's always like, hey, I need to borrow the lawnmower. Can I walk up and grab it? Or, like, hey, we're going to bring Luca by to play for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But
I think that
so what I was gonna go to with your YouTube thing,
yeah.
because what it does for me is like, then when I have the short form content, like I feel like my attention span has grown a lot because I force my brain to just think about nothing for 30 to 45 minutes at least every morning, and then on Saturdays an hour to 2 hours where there's nothing going in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm on a run and I literally have no thought.
I think that's so healthy.
So I was gonna say, for YouTube for lunch, what if you just put noise canceling headphones on and just
Good
nothing.
luck,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I think that's a
gonna go
great idea.
crazy.
No, I think that's a great idea.
No, because you let your mind wander.
You know what, Hunter?
Nuts.
I will do that today.
He's gonna
'Cause,
go
like,
nuts.
When people hear
don't have
the
noise
word,
Good
canceling
luck doing that when I'm
headphones, but-
entertaining you from the other side of your monitor.
whoa. You know, see, look, I just got you a new form of entertainment.
Well, I think. Sorry.
There
I'd
was
say
a
when
joke
people-
there. I'm not
yeah,
gonna do
don't
it.
Nope.
When people hear meditation, they think of like sitting down going,
Yeah, no.
But like meditating on things and meditation in general is similar to like solitude and like just being alone with your own thoughts and thinking through and meditating on different wisdom you've heard, meditating on verses in the Bible, meditating on like what God's teaching you, meditating on
Something you heard.
heck, if I have lunch with my dad, and my dad like it talks about, because the other day, this was a fascinating thing for me. We were just like talking to my parents, and my mom was talking about when they first had my sister, and she was like, yeah, because I was telling them about something with like Luca and how it's like stressful sleep regressions, blah blah blah. She's like, I'll never forget your sister, because that was the only time my parents had one kid. Obviously, that's what happened. You have 3 kids. And so they only had, with just Heather, they were talking about like how they got to a point where they had to move out. And my mom was like, yeah. And you know, your dad, like you get up and help Liz a lot throughout the night, blah, blah, blah. And I would just let your dad sleep. Like I didn't really get him up. And my dad immediately was like, well, Rhonda, I had a very, very stressful life in the night. She goes, no. Yeah. Like there was a reason I was letting him sleep, because like, and went on. And I was like, I've never even thought of that. Like, when I was born and as I was raised, my dad was 10 plus years into running a business. And the business at that point was successful enough.
He was steady.
Yeah, to where my whole life was able to get off work at 3 to coach me in basketball. He was able to, hey, we want to take a week vacation to go to the beach. He could do that. But like when my sister was first born, and even
grinding.
through a part of my like brother and sister's life, like when he took over the business from my granddad, it was literally my dad, my mom, my uncle, my aunt, and I think they had one other person. And they've like told me stories where like when they first had my sister, it was very much like my dad would work during the day and then he would come home. And a lot of times when they first had her, they couldn't afford to hire someone to replace my mom. So my mom would work at night or vice versa. So it was like a passing, like my dad would come home, my mom would leave, then my mom would come home and my dad would sleep, and that was their life. But I never saw that. And so I was like thinking, I was like, man, I wonder how much else that like my dad, when he was my age, was like drastically different from what I perceived him as. Because when you're a kid growing up, you just think your parents were always like that. You don't really think through like, oh yeah, y'all probably
like you guys had different lives other than me.
Yeah, like y'all probably struggled through something like I just went through when you were my age, huh?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, y'all had a kid at one point and were stressed out. Like it wasn't. Well, by the time I came along, I was your third one. I had a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old brother and sister, and like their life was groovy then. They were just chilling.
I think that's such an important like point that you bring up of like you just had that time where you could just think. And I think so many people like in our culture are so scared of those thoughts because a lot of people have issues
That's
because
definitely the backing behind the whole like keeping your brain itched theory is like people don't want to be left alone.
That's
with
a lot of times why people consume is because they're scared of thinking. And but it's so the more you just pile on more information on top of that information that you haven't processed, the more stressed you're going to be. It's going to make you more stressed and more anxious. A like time of entertainment is a quick fix just to make you feel less stressed in that moment, but like you can't keep up with that. And so there's like it's such an important thing to have a time in your day where you are just silent and thinking, because good things come from that. You're able to work through things that you're stressed about. You're able to have thoughts like that come in where like I need to be in contact with my dad more and have more of those conversations. Like that's so wise. And I think it's because like we consume so much information every day. Think about YouTube, podcasts. I listen to a ton of podcasts, and like even like people listen to music while they're working. Music is consuming, and like all these different things that we're consuming constantly. Conversations with every person we go by, we're consuming, but we never take any time to process any of the stuff that we consume, which is just, it's not going to make us better people. It's going to make us maybe have more off the tongue knowledge, but we're not going to have more like seep into the heart wisdom.
I think that's like that meditation on what you read or hear from people and stuff like that is like what makes it apply to your life. Because like there was a big period where I have a lot of random head knowledge about financial stuff, because that was what interested me for years. Still, it does interest me. But I would just sit down in the morning and read. But like you were saying, is like there were times where what I was reading directly applied to mine and my personal family finances, but like it wasn't for a year or two that I applied it, because like I would read it and it would almost go in one ear and out the other, to where if you asked me about it, I could reverberate like I was reading for a quiz. Where like I could tell you, but like for instance, Dave Ramsey's, do you love the guy or hate the guy? Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, get it, like that, his 7-step plan, like that. I feel like so many people could tell you, emergency fund of $1,000, debt snowball, blah blah blah, but like knowing that and thinking on, okay, how do I apply it to where I'm at in life, are like two completely different things. I think there's a lot in that where like that knowledge being transitioned into true wisdom and application only comes from that time of like sitting and thinking about what you just heard, what you just consumed. Yeah. And sometimes if all you're consuming is modern day hip hop, for instance, maybe you don't want to sit and meditate on that. Yeah. But like podcasts are a great thing, where like if like I've been loving the Nick Bear podcast. I listen to it every time I mow the grass. It comes out every Monday, and he sits down and just talks with people, and most of it is well above my head on like nutrition and health and fitness. But what I love about it is like he's very open about, his daughter's like the same age as Luca, and he's very open about like stuff he's realized as a business owner with a kid. And like I just love listening to the people he's had on. But if you just listen to it and just zone out, you're not going to learn anything. It's kind of like podcasts and stuff. It's the same as just putting on lo-fi and working to it. It's kind of like I'm very much an analogy person. I love analogies. Analogy guy. Our whole group makes fun of me because of how much I love analogies. But it's almost like I'm just kidding. He's gonna make an analogy. But I can't. Whenever you're talking, literally just an analogy like came in my head, and it's just the way my brain processes things. Of like, I always like think about the word meditate can be synonymous with the word marinate. Because you're doing the same thing. You're marinating in the information that you've received. Meditating takes a little bit more like starting a thought, but marinating was sitting in a thought that's been started already. But I think that we could think of ourselves kind of like if you're preparing for dinner a piece of meat. Let's take chicken, for example. I think all this stuff that we're consuming and stuff like that, if we just consuming, and like there's no end to it, you're boiling your chicken, and then you're dipping it in ranch, or you're dipping it in barbecue sauce. You're dipping it in all the Chick-fil-A sauce. And it's a great burst of flavor, but it's just to cover up a piece of dry chicken. But if you take that sauce and you let it sit in that plastic bag in the freezer or in the fridge or whatever for a couple of days, then that flavor seeps into the chicken. And when you cook that chicken, you don't have a quick flavorful burst of flavor and then dry chicken. Instead, you've got flavorful chicken. And I think that's what we with our lives a lot of times, we're just dipping ourselves in ranch. Dang, quick knowledge. That was a sick analogy. We're just dipping ourselves in ranch, and we need to be marinating. Trevor's not dipping himself in ranch. Yeah, Trevor's dipping himself in something else. I wouldn't dip. But we're just dipping ourselves in sauce, dipping ourselves in a little bit of knowledge to cover up the lack thereof, instead of marinating in having actual wisdom. And I think that consuming is great, but you just have to have time to marinate or meditate in process it as what you consume. Yeah. Well, dang. That's the banter. This is the banter at its core, is us making stupid things at the beginning and then somehow getting to where we are. Here, I think that we make you make your stereotypical meditation sound.
Okay.
So not actually like meditating on
got
something,
it.
but like you're sitting down, you're crossing your legs on a yoga mat, watching the sun rise.
All right.
Your fingers are here.
Wait.
Nice.
Okay.
There it was.
Gong.
Wow.
So you have a gong in
Yeah, I
there.
got a gong in there. Yeah. Are you peeing?
No, just white noise.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm my own noise machine.
Oh, okay.
I've had to do that to get Luca to sleep. And we don't
Make
have
With
a
your
your
own
with your
way to
mouth.
don't have a noise machine. It won't work, or like the battery died.
Oh, you
And
better-
I've like tried going shh, and he won't. I'll just go. I'm
shot.
not kidding. He'll
That
knocks
is
out.
so
That's
Oh, so there
funny.
it
hilarious.
I've never leveled up to that. That's pretty.
and it works.
It's like
Wow.
dad skills right there. That's
Yeah.
insane.
So if you have a kid and he loves his noise machine, needs white noise, just get a little moisture in your mouth, just hit him with it.
I'll tell you what, some of the
Hit him
best
with
I've
it.
ever had in my life.
Just
is
hock
the
a loogie on him.
White
machines.
noise.
If he won't go to sleep, just
You're never waking up.
Yeah, just
You wake up dazed and confused if you go to
no.
sleep
The
to white
worst
noise.
is if you go to sleep to white noise and then it dies in the middle of the night.
Yeah, dude,
I've
you
never
wake up
gone
and
to
you hear
sleep to white
everything.
noise.
You can hear
Superpowers.
talk about hearing your thoughts.
Yeah,
You
scary.
hear everyone's thoughts.